Hi guys, my name is David French. I'm a part-time magician and I wanted to share with you a table that I've been using for many years. Now I have no financial interest in this product, but I just wanted to share with you what I found to be the ultimate table for me. Now I have seen a video on this before, but it didn't go into the detail that I'm going to provide for you today. The first thing you need to do is go to instand.com. That's an Instand. And this is actually a computer stand, but many magicians have adapted it to their use, me being one. Now I bought the standing sitting tripod. There's two versions on the website. One is sitting only. It just means it's a little bit smaller. So I got the one that you can stand or sit. It's basically that this pipe here goes a little higher. And these are great. They're very lightweight, they're very compact, and they're very strong. I've used this particular one for 10, 15 years. Still works like a charm. So the first way I use this is I open up the tripod, and I bought the jumbo tray. Now when you buy the tripod, it comes usually with a smaller tray as a default, but you can switch it out for the jumbo, which I did. And what the jumbo tray does, it just gives you a little more space, a little more surface area. And these just screw right on the top of the tripod. They're all self-contained. There's no parts, there's no tools needed, and these things are pretty strong, like I said. So I use this in cocktail hours, wedding receptions, or any kind of a walk-around situation where there aren't a lot of tables. I bring my own. And I actually carry this up to the group. I set it in front of them, and I use it as a surface performance area. Now there's a whole nother video that could probably be done how I work those cocktail hours, but that's not the purpose of this video. The other thing I bought was a mat, a close-up mat from Pat's Mats. He's online and he makes lots of different custom sizes, different materials. This particular mat is a custom size he does, but it's a standard offering, if that makes sense. It's the Instand Jumbo Tray mat, and it fits on here perfectly. He obviously made it just for the Instand. And this is what I carry around to cocktail hours, and I perform with this. The other thing I do with this is if it's a formal show, typically a stand-up parlor show, I call it a close-up parlor show, I use the same table, but I have an addition. I bought the smaller surface and the extended arm. This is kind of nice because I work a lot of restaurants, and this just kind of spins on here, and I do a lot of work seated. And when I'm sitting, I'm doing my load tricks, like my chop cup or my Benson bowl. And rather than relearn those and use it from a body load in a stand-up position, I use this as a servant on the table. So this basically becomes my lap, if you will. And this just kind of snaps onto the pole here and tightens down. And now you've got a nice shelf here, or servant. And like I said, I use this as a load. Now obviously you can see that. So what I've done is I went to the fabric store and I got myself a piece of fabric, a little cloth. And I made sure this was a thin cloth, and I'll tell you why in just a moment. But this covers everything up nicely, makes a nice presentation, cleans it up, it looks like a nice side table. And then the mat goes right on top of this. Now because this material is so thin, this mat fits on there perfectly. There's no bulging or popping up. So this makes a nice presentation as far as a nice table, and it's got my servant in the back. I've never been caught. Nice little feature. The last way I use this table is for my stand-up shows, my kid shows, birthday parties. And in this condition, I switch things out a little bit. I'm going to take this apart and show you what I mean. I actually have a briefcase that I use for all of my props. Now, you may not be able to do this depending on the material you do, the props you use, but I have very minimal props in my shows. So I use a briefcase. I got this on eBay. It's a nice looking case, lightweight. And the way I do this is I just use the Instand as a tripod for the case. Now I have found that the smaller tray works better, and I'll explain that in a moment. So I'm going to just switch out these trays for a second and show you how that small tray works a little bit nicer than the larger one. And again, these are all interchangeable pieces. There's no switching out of flanges or screws or any kind of tools are needed. And this just kind of sits here. And again, the nice thing is it's adjustable. So I can raise it up if I need to, lower it down if I need to, depending on the angles of the audience. Here's my my kid show or my stand-up show. And this just sits right on top of the end stand. And I'm done. Now the reason the smaller tray works better is because I can put the case on a towards the front of that tray, so that when I open the case, it's not going to tip over. So I've got the kind of the angles there that work well. Now this thing is not cemented in, of course, so if some kid comes running and hits it really hard, it will fall over. But it's been knocked, and it's not really going anywhere. The surface of these trays, it has like a rubber to hold your laptop, but it holds this case. It's not going anywhere. It's not coming off of that tray. And here's the real key that I really loved about this. Again, like I said, I don't have a lot of large props, so I'm able to do this. I can carry this case in, and this whole tripod will fit inside my case. So for example, this small tray will fit in the lid of my briefcase. There's a little file folder in here, and that just slides right in. The tripod also fits right inside the case and fold it up. It goes in there too. So now I have one case I carry into my show. I'm not worried about steps. I'm not worried about a long walk to the home from my car. One trip in, this is it. And I've got everything inside. Again, this may not work for you depending on what you do, but for me it's a perfect solution. So that's it. The end stand, one table, works for every application that I do. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you got